But I felt compelled to come on the air a little bit earlier this week after what I've had to endure this weekend. What I had to endure this weekend were an abundance of people talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett.
And I would put Stephen A. Smith in that category
I
too.
don't.
Like, I'm mad at y'all for having joy. I'm mad at y'all for having success. I'm mad at y'all for surpassing us on college campuses. And so it's a small sect of men that are so angry and hurt that they're willing to align with the people who oppress us. What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute pure self-hating little dick energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying, F Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what black women do. We organize.
But this.
I do not like him. I peeped him early. I knew what he was about. Let me tell you something, family. Anytime I hear racist white people say they like you and you black, I already know you're a sellout. I already know you're shucking and jiving. I already know you're not for your people. I know that for a fact. It's very easy.
And there you have it. So in just a continuation of the last video that I made, where Stephen A. was calling out Jasmine Crockett for a lot of the rhetoric that she's been using as of late towards President Trump and I guess the Republican Party in general. We're now getting Stephen A. is now getting some backlash for that. And he went on to his show to make a special Wednesday appearance. I'm sorry, a special show prior to his Wednesday show, on an unscheduled show, and he's now responding and kind of clarifying what he had to say. But it's funny because here we are seeing some other people chime in. A lot of people are still against him for what he says. They're calling for his cancellation, and he's just simply here like trying to clarify, this is what I meant. He goes on to say how much he respects her, and I'll play some more here in a minute. But again, like to reiterate what I said in the last video, Jasmine is not really she's not in the game, so to speak, to really help others. I mean, she's more or less, she's there for herself. And I guess if she happens to help her constituency, great. But beyond that, Jasmine Crockett is going to be one of those people that more than likely, I could be wrong, but more than likely will never accomplish anything. She'll be another one of those do nothing, lame duck Congress people, members of Congress. Maybe she'll go on to even be a senator. Who knows? I would look for someone like a Jasmine Crockett to possibly run for president someday in the not too distant future. But I will look for her to go down in history as kind of a do nothing member of Congress. It's funny to me when you watch this and you see the left, more notably in the black community, kind of just eat their own. And I don't know what other group of people does this to this level. It's like you either are black and vote Democrat and think the rest of the way that the community does, or you're not black, or you're a traitor, or you're shucking and jiving. It's crazy to me that they will refer to each other and put each other down in that way. But I'm going to go ahead and play some more from Stephen A. He kind of breaks it down. If you get a chance, you can go watch his entire show on this. He's going to break it down in way more depth. And it was really good. I watched the whole thing. It's about almost 40 minutes long or something like that, but it's a really good episode. I don't normally watch Stephen A. Normally I don't care about these kinds of things, but what can I say? I love the drama of politics. But anyway, let's get back to more Stephen A.
I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. Take a listen to what I had to say last week, please. You Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that. Ladies, I respect. Intelligent women, no doubt. But how a Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating. It really can be. And all the verbiage and all the nonsense that I've heard over the last few days is why it can get exhausting. Because nothing frustrates me more than when people have the truth at their disposal and they choose, maybe not lie, maybe not even embellish, but allow their emotions to usurp facts, and all of a sudden want to use that as an excuse to label me as being something and doing something I'm neither not nor have I done. I've invited Jasmine Crockett. I have nothing but respect for her. I just disagree on what she's making headlines for because I think it's counterproductive to the ultimate goal. But yet, here we are, and the word disrespect comes in, and people try to engage with words, like disrespect and implying misogyny and all of this other nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Can we be grown-ups and deal with what the real issue is involving what I said? Willie D. We got Willie D. Put up that quote, please. He's putting out quotes or text or tweets about me. Let's see that again. Stephen A. Smith taking shots at Jasmine Crockett ain't just messy, it's weak. Dude is sitting on one of the biggest mics in America, and instead of using it to uplift, he's tearing down a black woman who's out here putting in real work. That ain't critique, that's betrayal. Jasmine Crockett ain't the problem. She's the kind of woman who walks into rooms full of snakes and makes the snakes flinch. Meanwhile, Stephen's showing what happens when a paycheck gets louder than the principal. That's sucker shit, straight up, end quote. Wow, Willie D. You sure are uplifting. I mean, I got to be touched. That was inspirational. Really, that really, really was. That was inspirational. I'm doing sucker shit.
Imagine saying that about somebody. You know that for a fact that you're not for your people. Stephen A. Smith, of all people, not being for his people. Because he wants better. He's having better expectations from the political leaders of the party that he cares about. A party that he has supported. I mean, he voted for Kamala Harris. He didn't vote for Trump. So if he didn't care about Democrats, if he didn't want Democrats to be the best they could be, why would he have voted Democrat? Why would he have voted for Kamala Harris, who is arguably the worst candidate to ever run? And here's Willie D saying, I know that for a fact. You basically, they not like us. You're not for your people. You're shucking and jiving. You're doing the white man's bidding, basically. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Here's what I know for a fact. No one is scared of Jasmine Crockett. Nobody. Walks into a room full of snakes. I mean, there you go, right there. What does that mean? Okay, well, you're saying Republicans, basically. That's the only thing I could ascertain from what you're saying, from that quote. But you're saying she makes the snakes flinch. She don't make anybody flinch. No one cares about Jasmine Crockett, and they sure as shit are not afraid of Jasmine Crockett. I can guarantee you that. Not a soul on earth. There's nothing frightening about her. She talks loud. She speaks in a ridiculous tone of voice that is not her natural tone. She is fake as hell, and people know it. They can see it. People know fake when they see it. She wears it like a sign around her neck. Again, like I said, she's in it for herself, says the same liberal talking points. Trump's a fascist. He's a dictator. The same stuff, all the stuff that she's been taught to say through this Democrat machine. That's it. There's nothing authentic about her whatsoever. She's just going to go out there and recite the same tropes, the same canards that every basically other liberal is going to get out there and espouse. So, but anyway, let's get back more to the video.
See, I don't play that nonsense. I don't like that. Disagree with what I said. Say why without all the other nonsense. Got nothing but respect. Willie D got over 1 million subscribers. Man, props to you. Doing your thing. Wishing you nothing but the best. Not getting into all that nonsense. But let's deal with what I was saying, please. Can we do that? Can we be real? So let's take it. Let's take it back. Let's look at the resume of Jasmine Crockett. 30th Congressional District. What's her reputation? While she's great at fundraising, the challenge for her was cultivating relationships in Congress. And what does that mean? Potentially going across the aisle when you don't want to. Potentially going across the aisle, okay, when it might be in the best interest of the 750,000 constituents you represent. To my producers, could y'all play the clip when she's talking about the president as an enemy of the United States? Could you play that, please?
Your reaction to his appointment?
He needs to go. I mean, this is very simple. We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within. Here is the problem.
Of course, Congresswoman, to interrupt you, but President Trump, of course, has denied any allegations of the white supremacists, and that's why he apparently fired what he. I know your point, but he did fire Darren Beatty in reaction, they believe, in part to his attendance at that conference. Does that change your opinion in any way?
No, it doesn't change my opinion.
So that's the first clip. There's a president of the United States that you're calling a white supremacist, and you're saying that the people who work under him are that as well. While you're in the government needing assistance from that administration to get things done for your constituency and beyond. Okay, that's clip number one. Play clip number two, please. A full-fledged criminal. Play that, please.
Not our democracy. Well, he did say he'd be a dictator on day one. Oh, Democrats, it's just Trump. He just talks. Well, let me tell you something. He is doing more than talking. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about the consolidation of power. We talked about how he wanted to be a king. We talked about in a democratic republic, that is not what it is. We have some sort of checks and balances, and he is doing everything that he can to get rid of those checks and balances. The DOJ and the people that he's going after were simply doing their jobs. The problem is that Americans Republicans thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
So you care about facts, meaning the Democrats, and the Republicans don't. Okay. That's another clip. And by the way, full-fledged criminal and thug. Those were words. How about this one where she called the president a piece of shit? Play it.
Because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is.
Donald Trump is a piece of shit. That's what she said. That's the third one. There's another one here where she's talking about how the GOP doesn't care about facts, but the Democrats do. You just heard that. There was also another one where she called them again a white supremacist. But it didn't just stop there. She went to her own governor of the state of Texas, who's in a wheelchair, by the way. Keep that in mind. And listen to what she said about him.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Governor Hot Wheels. And the only thing that is hot about him is that he's a hot ass mess. And that's going to serve 750,000 constituency in the 30th District of Texas?
Nope.
That is what I was saying. Never mind what she feels. Never mind whatever level of justification you may have towards feeling the way that you feel. When you're in her position, that's not going to get you anywhere. You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them. And this is why I despise not any individual, but the politicians on Capitol Hill, what they collectively as a body have done to our nation. They feed division. They feed this kind of nonsense where they instigate stuff and then they turn around and they leave it to us to scratch and claw and fight amongst ourselves, so we get to ignore focusing on their efforts or lack thereof when it comes to the real issues that affect us as American citizens, and especially as Black people. Everybody has their thoughts and opinions, and I get that. But to call for a rally for me to be canceled, that's shameful.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the crux of the argument. That's the whole point. Please put her front and center. That's what I'm saying. No one is afraid of her. This woman is ridiculous because she chooses to be. That's why we say, put her at the front of the Democrat Party. Make her the leader. Because it wins for them. It wins for the Republican Party. That's why they say that. She is perfect. All you have to do is let someone like her talk and put her right out in front. Everyone's going to go, yeah, we're out. We're not doing this. But we don't want to be a part of this. We'll vote the other guy. Because that's how bad she is as a politician. That's what an embarrassment that she truly is. If you look at the people who are defending her, there's no one with any real power that is backing Jasmine Crockett and defending Jasmine Crockett. That side is not winning. The Democrats are not winning. No one is that is like, no one whose respect worth having is respecting her. No one. She does not have it. That's what Stephen A. is trying to tell her. If he didn't care about her at all, if he had no respect for her whatsoever, he wouldn't even waste his time saying these things. And it's hilarious that they're saying, get rid of him, turn him off, cancel him. Like that's where you're at? You're so threatened by a guy that voted Democrat, voted for Kamala Harris. You're threatened by that? You want to silence his voice? I mean, he's one of the best mouthpieces that y'all would have. That's somebody you would want standing up for your side. And you want to cancel that. And that right there is, in essence, where the Democrat Party is. That's where they're at. Oh, someone's saying something against what we stand for. Get rid of them. Get them out of here. That person's saying something we don't like. Cancel. Cancel culture. Rise up. That's it. That's the whole point. That's going to do it for me on this video. Thanks so much for those of you who are continuing to watch. I know I just got started, and I can't thank you enough for the views that I've gotten so far. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you subscribe, like a video. I don't care which one, pick one, just like it. And feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear where you stand on this. Again, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you on the next one.